Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of The Suited Shootist. And what I wanted to do is kind of revisit the hip carry discussion that we were having week before last, before I did the gift guide, which if you haven't checked that out, definitely go do so if you've still got some Christmas shopping to do. I've gotten some very positive feedback on that, so I'm sure that you'll find it useful. But like you gathered from the thumbnail, I'm talking about leather holsters today. And especially coming from somebody my age, talking about how a leather holster may be the superior choice to Kydex might be a little surprising. I've got a couple of very good reasons why. The first one is really what I think is the most important, and this is it. Leather is exactly that. It's dead animal hide. And so because of that, it's a lot more soft, it's a lot more supple, it's a lot more forgiving on your clothing. And that can be really critical because especially if this is how you carry every single day, and if you tend to wear the same thing every single day and you don't have a big rotation of clothing that you're cycling out, whether it be your pants or your cover garments, it's kind of like what I talked about last week, where people will sew lining into their jackets to keep the gun from wearing it out. Well, if you encase the gun in a relatively soft material, then you're reducing the friction points, you're reducing the hot spots, and you are preserving the life of everything. So that's a big, big benefit. The other component of it is kind of twofold, because if you're somebody that either wants or needs active retention on your holster, you tend to see a lot more thumb breaks on leather holsters than you do on Kydex. And that's not to say that they don't exist, but it's a lot more commonplace. And again, because the thumb brake comes over the top, covers the slide, the backstrap, and some of the sights, you are also reducing that as a friction point on your clothing as well. So there's an added protective benefit there on top of the actual retention. The third one, this is one that I'm getting secondhand, full disclosure, but I've had some conversations with Tom Kelly of Darkstar Gear, and something that he observed is the retention of leather holsters is a bit more kind of a spectrum, whereas on a Kydex holster, it's very binary. The gun is either in the holster or it's not. Well, because you don't have the active kind of click of whatever the retaining mechanism is, whether it be a detent in the trigger guard or something like the Filster floodlight where it's attaching via the flashlight, this is all friction fit. Now, it's friction fit based around the model of pistol, but there's not a delineated release point on a leather holster the same way that there is on a Kydex. And what Tom observed there was, especially when you're talking about fighting over a gun, he has not seen as many kind of dumped guns out of leather as he has out of even quality Kydex from examples like ECQC, because once you reach that point of no return on the Kydex holster, it's out of there. Whereas there's a little bit more continuous friction on the leather holster. And those are kind of the three big instances where leather may be a more appropriate choice for you than Kydex. I'm certainly not going to say that it's for everybody. Honestly, I still run primarily Kydex holsters, with the exception of the shoulder holsters that I've experimented with and my pocket rigs. But there are definitely some benefits to it. Now, people are going to say, oh, well, they wear out. Everything wears out. The springs in your carry gun wear out. So you need to have some type of preventative maintenance schedule for everything. And if you're running a leather holster, that's just one more item on the checklist. There's kind of a bonus benefit that is not at all functional, but good quality leather work is really something to be appreciated. I mean, this here is actually the holster off of my Andrews Leather Monarch. And I mean, you can see this is where all the straps attach to it. But you know, this really is just an exceptionally well-made piece of leather. The edge finishing, the stitching on it, the dye, and I mean, even this being several months out of the package, it still smells great too. Which obviously none of that matters, but it does. You know what I mean? So. The interesting thing is that there are a couple of groups out there that do make appendix carry leather holsters. The one that I'm thinking of off the top of my head is 5-Shot Leather. Now again, it's not a company I have any specific firsthand experience with, but a lot of folks who are far more equipped to comment than I am speak very highly of it. I know Steve Fisher is a big fan. You see him posting a lot on his Instagram page with 5-Shot holsters. So do you run leather still? If so, I'd be interested to hear kind of who's your favorite manufacturer down in the comments. Will you never run a leather holster? I want to hear that too. But outside of that, hope everybody has a fantastic week. Stay dangerous and stay sharp.